Hey there, this is Brian Hazard of Resonance Mastering, and I'm going to show you how to make space for tight bass. This video is a supplement to my post of the same name at passivepromotion.com. I'll include a link to that below if you'd like to read it. So, make space for tight bass. What does that mean? It means using a frequency analyzer to clear out excess low frequencies in your mix, which leaves clean, tight, punchy bass without a lot of clutter. I'm going to be using my color theory song Drive You Home to demonstrate this. Let's start by showing you how the mix sounds without these low cuts that we're going to add in.
Yes, I'll drive you home, my home, wherever you'd like to go. Yes, I'll drive you home, my home. I'm wanting to spend the night together.
And here is the final mix with the low cuts.
Yes, I'll drive you home, my home, wherever you'd like to go. Yes, I'll drive you home, my home. I'm wanting to spend the night together.
Obviously, quite a difference there. If you're not hearing much of a difference, be sure that you've got the video settings at 720p or 1080p. Higher quality video also gives you higher quality audio. And obviously you're not going to hear it if you're listening on your laptop. The speakers just don't extend low enough to hear what we're talking about. So frequency analyzer, I use Voxengo Span. It is free for Mac and PC. And it is really, really useful if you know how to configure it. Let's do that. You click on Edit. And the most important thing that we need to set is the block size. I have mine set to 8192. If you go much lower than that, here's what happens.
Yes, I'll drive you home, my home, wherever you'd like.
You can see that the bass, basically from 200 on down, just extended in a straight line. So not accurate at all. So for accuracy, we need to go up. If we go too high though, here's what happens.
Yes, I'll drive you home, my home, wherever.
The bass is accurate, but the screen doesn't update quickly enough to be of any use, especially if we're trying to do something like EQ a kick drum with a quick transient response. So 8192 is the best bang for my buck. If your CPU can't handle it, you might have to go down to 4096. But it's important to get that block size up there if you want accurate bass representation. So two other things that we need to look at. One is frequency low. That selects the lowest frequency on the display. I have it set to 5 Hertz. Technically 20 is the lowest we can hear, but a lot of tracks, especially stuff tracked live, has subsonic rumble and other garbage down there, and it adds up. It makes sense. If you can see it, cut it. The other one is range low, and I have it set to -100. This control is a visual setting. If you don't see enough of the signal in the plugin, bring that number down and the image will shift up in the window. So that's all configured. Let's see how we apply it, starting with the vocal track. I'm going to solo the vocal track here. I've got a low cut at 250 Hertz, 24 dB per octave, Q equals 1. So I'm going to solo the vocals, and I'm going to bypass and engage the low cut so you can hear the difference.
Yes, I'll drive you home, my home, wherever you'd like to go. Yes, I'll drive you home, my home. I'm wanting to spend the night together.
So as you can see, the low cut clears away a whole lot of gunk down in the 20 to 50 Hertz range that isn't doing anything at all to help us. All it does is mask the bass, and 250 Hertz is pretty high. What that does is it enhances the vocal tone, it gets rid of some of the mud, and I also have a little boost here at 2800 Hertz for vocal presence to help bring it out of the mix. Moving on to the piano, same basic idea. I have a low cut here at a lower frequency, 120. Let's hear how that sounds. essentially what this low cut does is takes the bass note out of the piano part. The bass already has it covered. There's no reason to double it with the piano. By clearing out room there, we can hear the piano in its own space, which in this case is the low mids. I even have a boost at 300 hertz, and allows the bass its own space below that. I also have a cut here at 2800 hertz, which, as you'll recall, is exactly where I boosted the vocals. So this is a complementary EQ to allow the vocals to sit above the piano in the mix, where normally they might fight a little bit. So you might be wondering how I chose 120 hertz for the bass and 250 hertz for the vocal. There's no real formula. The basic strategy is you move that frequency up as high as you can until the tone changes in an undesirable way. Now, with something like a hi-hat, you might be able to take it up to 1K and not have any problems, and it sounds pretty much identical. So why not? Other tracks may not have anything down there at all, and there's no need to cut them. So essentially, you follow the same process with every track in your mix except the bass and kick. Now, does that mean we leave the bass and kick alone? Typically, no. Here's my bass. I've got it cut at 55. If I turn that off, not a whole lot of difference by turning it off, but I have that in there basically to help balance out the amount of sub bass in the mix. Those low frequencies take up a lot of energy in the mix, and it's going to limit our potential for squeezing volume out of the mix in the mastering stage. So I don't want more than I need there. Same idea with the kick. So there's how I have the kick with a low cut at 50 hertz. If I take that out, I get a whole lot more thump in the kick. Back in. So again, it's not like it was wrong not to have that low cut in there. It sounded fine. It was just too much sub bass for the mix, and it was overpowering. So essentially, almost every track here has a low cut in it, and that includes the reverb returns. Here I've got a 250 hertz cut, same slope with a slightly gentler Q, 0.71, before it even hits the reverb. And the reason for that is twofold. One, like we've been talking about throughout, it helps clear space for the kick and bass. But beyond that, we really want the kick and bass and the low frequencies in general to be in mono as much as possible. If it's really wide, if you have bass that's spread really wide between the speakers, it interferes with your overall stereo imaging and makes the track sound narrow. Furthermore, if it's going to be cut to vinyl, if you don't have the bass in mono, the needle can jump out of the groove. So obviously that's not a good thing. We want the low frequencies in mono as much as possible. So again, here is the final result.
Yes, I'll drive you home, my home, wherever you'd like to go. Yes, I'll drive you.
And for my money, it sure sounds a lot better than this.
Yes, I'll drive you home, my home, wherever you'd like to go. Yes, I'll drive.
So give it a shot. Let me know how it goes. If you want me to make more videos like this, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel. If you've got any questions, hit me up in the comments. Thank you for watching.